Hello everyone, it's Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do the much anticipated comparison between the Dreame X50 and the Roborock Saros 10R. I've had both of these in my house for 3 months. I've done extensive testing. You can see those videos where I do all the maintenance and give you my 3-month real world test on both of them. I'm going to share the results comparing the two. And there was actually some pretty stark differences. First off, I bought both of these robots with my own money and I wasn't paid for this video. I will put links to these in the show description notes. If you purchase the product using my link, the products don't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. It is a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to give you these honest opinions. Now, first off, price. I haven't seen the Saros 10R on sale yet. It retails $1,600. The Dreame X50 is $1,700. I recently saw it on sale for $1,300. Now, both of these are what you might say the best money can buy, premium. This is the top of the top. They do have some more robots. They got cheaper robots, but this is some of the most expensive robots you can buy. And as you see, both of them have a Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. If you buy either one of these, you're going to have a great user experience. They're going to do a good job cleaning your house, and you're going to be very satisfied. So let's get into the differences. Why would you want one or the other? So the first thing, the Dreame X50 can go over thresholds a lot better and taller than the Saros 10R. So if you have robots that won't go into another room because you have really tall thresholds, the Dreame X50 can almost do a 2.5 inch. It has little robotic arms that it deploys, raises the robot up over that threshold, and it can go from room to room. The Saros 10R can only go 1.5 inches. It tries, it kind of lifts up at an angle. It does an okay job, but the Dreame X50 does a much better job. Now, let's go into if you're really wanting something slim. Now, the Saros 10R is 3.14 inches tall. The Dreame X50 with its LiDAR lowered is 3.5 inches, which that's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. The Dreame X50 gets everywhere where I need it to go. The Saros tended to get in trouble a little bit. It was so thin. It went into places that I had to put some no-go zones. So, both of them have LiDAR navigation. It's a little bit different how they do it. They call this the Starlight, and they got sensors on the side. I don't really understand the Starlight and LiDAR. I kind of understand LiDAR. This raises up and there's a spinning LiDAR. Both of them mapped my house exactly the same. So I'm just considering the Saros 10R has LiDAR because of the mapping was exactly the same. Now, something that another point, the Dreame X50, I have seen it cheaper. It's been going on and off sale quite a bit. Again, the Saros 10R has not been on sale. Right now this is $300 cheaper. So that's a pretty big deal for this really premium robot. Now, there's a couple other things I found. So the Dreame X50 was a little bit better with obstacle avoidance. The Roborock Saros 10R does a good job with its sensor, but it did struggle on like brown carpet. And if you see I have some detailed 3-month videos. I have probably 20 videos on both of these. So this is kind of a synopsis of everything I've covered over all those videos. This one did struggle with obstacle avoidance. Now, nothing's perfect. I've tested robots. I've done this for my living, and nothing is perfect. This one just tended to be a little bit better. If your dog has an accident, if it poops on the floor, your cat throws up, both of them could potentially run it over. I think the Dreame X50 would stand a better chance of avoiding it. It did a better job with cables and toys and different things. Now let's get into some things that I found that were really kind of hidden that I didn't realize. The Saros 10R, it does a better job of washing the mop pads. And I found that out during my 3-month video real world test where I did the cleaning, and it was very apparent. And I didn't think that was possible because this was such a premium robot, and you can even sort of tell. These are the original mop pads, and these always kind of look like new for a while. And these were always kind of like dirty, and I was like, I don't understand what was going on, but now I do. It's all about the docking station. And this is another point. This comes out for easy cleaning. Over here, the mop pads are cleaned on this like flat surface, and the water is shooting up at them, but it doesn't agitate the brush roller. And I found that these needed to be put in the laundry more often and replaced more often. It spins them, and the water is supposed to take the dirt off, but it just doesn't do a good job. This one, those little beads, you can tell that this gets the mop pads clean. Now, did I notice that? No. I absolutely loved the Dreame X50. I loved both of these mopping my house. And to that point of when I had these set up on a schedule where they cleaned my entire house once a week, vacuum mop, and then twice a week, they mopped the kitchen floor only. They didn't vacuum, and it was the Dreame X50 is extremely quiet. The Saros 10R is quiet, but you hear these wheels. These wheels are different. They're not loud. This isn't loud by no means, but compared, this Dreame X50 is just super quiet. Now, when you get the vacuum going, the Dreame X50 is a little bit quieter, but they're both about the same. Which leads me to another point. Again, when I did the 3-month maintenance, this was so easy. I took this to the sink, got it all nice and clean, put it back. Here, I could only take this little filter out, which was dirty, but most of the dirt was down here. And I had to manually clean that, which that's not that big a deal, but that's so much easier. And this is a routine maintenance that you bought a premium robot. You're going to be cleaning that once a month. I do my every 3 months. So that's an issue, I think. Both robots can move a mop pad to the side, which they both do a really good job of that. I felt that that's the same. They both can do corner cleaning. They both can extend the side brush. Now, I did think, as you can see, this one's kind of a mess and actually does need replaced. The corner cleaning capability, I think the Saros 10R did a better job. This brush is a little bit nicer design, and it does help with long hair, but I never had any long hairs wrapped around this either. Now, let's talk about suction power. Now, they both claim different levels of suction power, 20,000 Pascal suctions. I don't really measure that. I go off of, I cut the dust bag open on both of them. Both dust bags were completely full. They did an amazing job with dust, long hair, you name it. So vacuuming your house, I felt like they both did the same. Long hair, they both do the same, just a little bit different. The Roborock Saros 10R has this duo divide, where the long hairs are not going to wrap around. It's going to be directed to the center and then get sucked into the dust bin because there's a split. This one does a little bit different. It's got 2 brush rollers. Now, I do feel like the 2 brush rollers might do a better job of vacuuming, but I don't have any real proof of that. These are open on the end, and the long hairs are directed down and then get sucked in. I never had any long hair wrapped around either one of these. And again, this is a little trickier to get in, but not too bad. I mean, considering it's a premium robot, I do find that the Roborock just seems a little bit more refined with a lot of these areas that you work on. Now, another feature that I love, they both can leave their mop pads at the base station. So when they're in the base station, they can both detach their mop pads and leave them there. And I never had any problems with that. When you wanted to vacuum only, or if you wanted to just, in the app, these apps got so many features, but you could tell it remove mop pads before it vacuums your carpet. And they both did, and they both could reattach them and then wash them and then mop. So lots of features. The apps are just loaded with features. I've got in the first look and the how to set up, I go over my recommended settings. There's all kinds of settings. There might be too many actually, because sometimes you can turn things on that might mess it up a little bit with the obstacle avoidance and stuff. They've got some test features, which like they call them beta features, which I typically leave off because I've had problems. So now, full disclosure, I bought the Dreame X50 when it first came out. I had a problem with it. I did contact Dreame customer support. It was a little challenging. I felt like it was going to take too long, and I was really wanting it fast. So I just did a return through Amazon, which was handled very good. So I did get an exchange unit. The Saros 10R, I haven't had any problems with it from day one. The Dreame X50, that first unit I had, navigating was just kind of odd, and they did do a software update. So it is June of 2016. So when you get it, make sure you do the software update. It did improve the robot tremendously. But Roborock is not immune to defaults, because I bought the Saros Z70, which has the robotic arm, and it had a fault out of the box. The power cord one of the pins was pushed back, and I had to send the whole unit back. Now, with that being said, I got to experience both customer supports. Roborock, I think they both would have ended up about the same if I would have been more patient with the X50. But the Saros Z70, it's all through email. You're not going to talk to anybody. And you can tell you're talking to somebody in a different country because you would email during the day and they would email at night. And then that's how it would. So it takes a while. To get the Z70, start to finish, took about 3 weeks of emailing, boxing it up, UPS in it. They paid for the UPS. They have to wait for it to get it, and then they ship you another one. So I think that process would be about the same, but I do have a little bit more experience with the Roborock. Dreame, I could just tell it was going to be kind of like this process of email, what's wrong. And the Roborock seemed to just kind of like get to the point really quick. I was able to send pictures with the Roborock, and Dreame wanted me to upload video to something, and it's just a little different. Now, since these are premium robots, they both have a fabulous dirt detection. The docking station, so when the robot mops up your floor, it comes back, they wash the mop pads, the dirty water gets sucked up into the dirty water tank, and before it gets there, it goes through a dirt detection sensor. If that water's too dirtier than normal, it tells the robot, okay, wherever you just came from, it was dirtier than normal, go remop it. Both of them have that dirt detection sensor, and both of them work amazing. They only remop one time. I wish they did more. Like the Frio has this same dirt detection sensor. It'll remop like 4 or 5 times. So your floors can end up squeaky clean because it just keeps going back and forth. But that can use a lot of water. Maybe in the future, I don't know. But I love that sensor. That's a sensor that you don't find on cheaper robots. So these two robots have video. They take pictures of the obstacle. You can do a remote call in. So say you're in another state and you're like, I wonder if I left the stove on or I did something. You can activate the robot, have it go in your house. You can video, record it, talk through it, see your pets, see where your pets are at. So these are miniature robots with video cameras. Both of them work very well in this feature. Now you can turn that off. If you are worried about privacy, you can turn that off, but they both do have cameras. And these things, when that's turned on, if you're in the bathroom or something, they will take a picture of you. I mean, they consider you an obstacle and it takes a picture. So just be warned about that. Now they both have stickers that say they only keep the data local. I don't understand all of that. So I really can't talk about the privacy issue, but I do know that both of these manufacturers, they sell robots. If people that are concerned about privacy, they will sell robots without the camera. Now, they have a curve. They have a curve S5A, and they have an edge. Both of these are highly recommended, but they don't have the front camera. So you lose some obstacle avoidance, but you have the privacy with most of the same, not all the same features. I don't know when the sales go on these. I will, if you follow me on Instagram, my Facebook group page, and TikTok, I try to let people know when the sales are on. It was an absolute pleasure having both of these in my house. Great user experience. Put them on a schedule and forget it. Something I did like, this Roborock has a red light to let you know when the tanks are either empty or full. This one, I wish I could walk by and quickly notice something's up. So you get a notification in the app. It seems like you get so many notifications that you just are constantly, clearing them. So you really don't care too much about the notification. But if you have any questions, check out, I just did the 3 months, called the 3-month real world test, how to do all the maintenance on both of these. And I learned a lot during that video. You can think you know these robots really well, but you don't until you actually use them in real world experience, which I take them to my house. This is my studio, which I can test robots. I can see how they work. We can check corner cleaning capability and all of that. But really, taking these home, I found to be the best thing. Living with this robot. How has it been? How often did I have to go grab it? This one did kind of get jammed up in a few things. But you can see, these are premium robots. Who's scuffed up the most? They both got some scuffs. But premium robots do a great job of they're not bouncing off the walls a bunch. They're not bumping into things that they know is there. They just do a really good job with the app. Both of these apps are amazing. I just can't stress that enough. I've used bad apps, and that's going to be my #1 requirement for robots. Everybody's like, oh, how's the suction? Does it clean? Well, all of that's fine, But unless you're having a good user experience with the app, none of that matters in my opinion. So the first thing will always be the user interface, which is the app. And that's how I'm going to score these. And these are just both extremely well refined, intuitive. They may have a few too many settings, but I do try to show people in how to set it up, which ones I recommend. Now, since we have not vacuumed our house and mopped our floors at our house for a very long time. These robots are actually starting to replace vacuums and mops. And these premium ones can do it because they are that advanced with really good suction, obstacle avoidance, mopping capability. They can remop. Very, very good. Now you may have saw a link pop up in the video. So YouTube has an affiliate program now. As the video is playing, you'll see pop-ups where you could purchase this. It may be at Walmart. It may be off the Roborock website. If you click on those, it'll take you to their website or wherever that link goes. And if you purchase the product won't cost you anymore, but I will get a small commission from that link also. But I also have an Amazon link. I typically buy most of my parts off of Amazon just because I do like their kind of return policy, that 30 days. If something's wrong, you can just quickly return it and really no questions asked. So I'll put a link in my description from Amazon. And if you click on that link, same thing. The product's not going to cost you anymore, but I'll get a small commission from the sale. It's a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to do these honest reviews. Again, these are both A+ robot vacuum cleaners. That's just in the details. You could flip a coin, buy either one of these, and I think you'd have an amazing experience. Your house is going to be tremendously clean. But I think when you're starting to get into the expensive robots, you want to know exactly what the differences are. So it took me a while to make this video. It's a little different format. I'm just talking and pointing. It's not showing the robots doing their job. But I just did a detailed review at my house on both of these. So there's two videos I recommend you checking out. There's going to be a detailed review that's about an hour long of, I show you, it's vacuuming, it's mopping, it's doing an amazing job at my house. Then I bring it to my studio and I do the 3-month test results of basically we take the robot apart, clean it all up. How easy is it to clean? The biggest thing you're going to see is we cut the dust bag open, and it's going to blow your mind how much these things pick up. It's amazing. So those are the two videos I recommend you watching on either one of these. I do have an older comparison where I compare. It was an early video, kind of, you know, when these robots just come out, people want to see which one should I buy, and I try to give as good as information as I can. But I think after owning these now for 3 months, I can really tell you both of them are good. But there's about 4 or 5 key features which I hope I talked about, or hope you remember which ones those are. Again, slimness, cleaning the mop pad. This one, the X50, was going to be my #1 pick. Questions down, hands down, nothing better. I was going to say it. I was going to say it's the best. Just buy it. It's better than the Saros 10R. Until I did that 3-month cleaning, that 3-month real world test, and I go, oh, the mop pad doesn't get as clean on the X50 as the Saros 10R. That changed my mind. It's an equalizer now. So again, just appreciate everybody's support. Let me know. I just got the brand new Eufy E25. I'll be comparing it to the E28. They're both great robots. I'll be comparing them to the Eufy S1 Pro. I just took the X50 at home. We are loving it. We're doing the 3-month real world test. I'll probably bring the Mova P10 Pro home and the Dreame L40. These are amazing robots that are about half the price of what we're talking about. They don't have all the bells and whistles, but boy, they're pretty close. Roborock just released a Curve X. I got a review on it. It's a premium robot with all the bells and whistles. Just looks different. It's like a Saros 10. They got a whole new series coming out, the X7, X10 series. Cheaper models, not as much going on. I do have reviews on all the new Roombas. So Roombas right now, their price point, they're not too bad at robots. They can't compete with these guys right now. But people do love Roomba, the name, the company. Thankfully, they got LiDAR navigation. It's just their price point's pretty high for what you're getting. But I do have videos on all the new Roombas. So the basement's changing a little bit. The S1 I brought upstairs, I took the auto refilling station off, which did a really good job. But most people aren't going to have that. So I put it back to normal so I can do the comparisons. I'm taking the Q-Revo S is going to be going under some more testing because they're putting it on sale. Yeah, the Q-Revo S is going home for extensive testing and comparisons. The S8 Max V has been going, they've been advertising that like crazy, so I took it home. These have all been doing really, the L20, been just doing phenomenal for an older robot. Ecovacs, again, I'm going to start getting into more Ecovacs. I got all the Sharks, I'm starting to get a little bit more organized. The Shark IQ has been a buy. It's been around 200 bucks, LiDAR navigation, basic vacuuming, but it's all about price point. I did see this Power Detect on sale for 350. That's an amazing buy. This white one, don't spend more than 300. Don't ever get these 2-in-1s from Shark that are like this. These are junk. The only 2-in-1 I recommend is the Shark Power Detect, which I just did the 3-month real world test on it, and it's okay. It's not a lot of bells and whistles, but it's like it just does its job. It doesn't have a bunch of fancy stuff, but it just works. But it doesn't clean the best, you know, like it's not the absolute best. Got some Roborock, the older Roborocks, which I will be comparing to the newer ones coming out. Here's that Curve S5X, no camera. So if you're worried about privacy, they took the camera microphone out. You have some of the features. It's not as advanced with the cleaning and all of that. I do have a comparison between the two, but so if you're worried about privacy, and they have an Edge that's like that too. There's the, I don't recommend that one. That's the Shark Power Detect 2-in-1. It doesn't wash the mop pad. And here's the wall of shame. I mean, the Roombas, the old Roombas. These are the old ones. I just can't recommend any of these. The new ones, again, have LiDAR navigation. These all had V-Slam, which we're just past that now. There's some Eufy ones I recommend, L60, L50. I forget, this is like the X8, but you'll see this has LiDAR navigation. Eufy has a great app. This is the X10 Pro. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, no, this is the X9 or something. I mean, look at this. They call it V-Slam because it just slams into everything. Robots should not be doing that. So if you type the word Shark Robot Vacuum Cleaner, don't ever pay more than about $250, $300 for a Shark Robot Vacuum Cleaner that vacuums only. They have so many different models, and then they'll throw a little bell and whistle on it, but nothing makes it a better vacuum. They all are the same, in my opinion, with just different filters and how it's just crazy what they do. Q-Revo Max V, he's been cleaning. Look at that dirty water tank. Yep. The Pro, these are still very reliable Q-Revos. The Dreame Heat, very reliable. Been doing a good job of cleaning. I got to come down here. I've been testing to failure, and these just work. I mean, these things are on a schedule. They're cleaning all the time, and they do a good job. These are failed. I don't recommend the Eureka J15. There's the Roomba 10 Max. That's the absolute worst Roomba I think they ever made. No, the Roomba Essentials is the worst. So the basement's undergoing a little bit of a transformation. Can't really do a lot with the basement. Only so much time in the day, and I really had to get these done. And there's been some new robots released. So really do appreciate everybody's support. If you could, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.